Hey, what's going on? Todd Shaw here with another episode of the Sawdust Dude. Today we're doing a little carpentry work. We're out in Southwest Virginia. Beautiful day out here, beautiful skies. Perfect day to work outside. Got a customer that called me with some Masonite or Hardie Board siding problems, and so we came out here to take a look at it. And basically we just have to remove the first course, the beginning run of it all. And so I want to show you today how really it's pretty simple to remove it, and just carry you through some simple steps about how to replace that board and get your house looking good again. So hey, stay tuned and let's get to work.
And of course, this might be the problem here, is it's kind of disintegrated, you can see here, and it's cracked. Could be because this you got this cheap silicone here, which is not a good product to use. A lot of moisture is probably getting back here. Once again, this trim board is flush with the Hardie board, so it's allowing water really to get back behind here. And good thing it's properly flashed, but it still kind of turns up, allows water to pool up there. So you can see the problem here, how it's just falling apart. So we have to fix all that. Another crack here. Once again, the trim board is flush with the Hardie board, and it's not caulked, and it's causing this to break apart. Got where the Hardie board's pushed in. That's a good 1/2 inch right there. I need to get that line back up for some reason. Whatever's causing that just to bulge out. Okay, replacing this first run, you just come along here, cut the sides, any caulk that might be there. And underneath my pry bar, and gently lift that back, take a wedge, stick in there, and just walk down. Look at all that caulk back there.
Hey, one of the things when you cut Masonite or cement board or Hardie board, whatever it's called in your area, you also you always want to wear a dust mask, because this stuff does kick up some dust. And if you don't have a real expensive saw with a vacuum system on it, you know, for me, I just do this kind of work every now and then. Back in the days when I used to be a trim carpenter, and we would trim out the side of the house like this, you know, we would always cutting outdoors, and we would always wear a mask. Now, you don't want to breathe in that dust, because I'm telling you, it's not good for your lungs. It'll make your babies be born naked. So just always wear a mask. And I want to show you another little trick that I use. And I just cut my board. I've got a DeWalt angle grinder with a Masonite blade on it, and it's how I make my cuts. But I also will take a leaf blower and sit it to the side, and that way it's blowing on my saw and diverting that dust, so I can see my marks as well. So that's another little trick that I like to use when cutting Masonite or a Hardie board. we just need to mark out for a window. I keep the recommended gap against my trim board over here, and I just take my speedy square, slide up underneath, and transfer that line over here. And so I have that mark, and then just repeat the process on this side, making sure all the caulk is away from the window. And so I have that mark there. Then I drop this down, square those marks down, just like that. Then check my reveal down at the bottom. I want to go all the way towards the bottom of this this trim piece to the bottom there, and that's 3 inches. And over here, just make sure it's the same, which it's not, and that's 2 3/4. So on this end, I need to come up from the bottom 3 inches like this. Make my mark. Come over here and 2 3/4. Make my mark, and then just grab a straight edge. Transfer my line over. Grab the factory edge of this board and just transfer my line over. And I'm good to go. Now, one of the things that I need to do is, here are my marks that I need to cut out for around the window, but I need a gap. They recommend at least 1/8 of an inch gap around here. So this mark that I have here is an exact mark. Now, the thickness of your blade is called a kerf. And so what I really want to do here is, if I wanted it to be exactly, I would cut on this side, the left side of my line. But what I want to do is really not cut out my line, but I want to really kind of be to the right of my line. And then the kerf of my blade is about 1/16 of an inch or so, 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch. And so if I cut along here and then on to the right side of the line all the way around, I'll have the proper reveal, and then I'll be able to caulk. That way, when this board expands and contracts, we'll be good to go and there won't be an issue. From here, run my caulk around the sides over here and along the bottom. Kind of like glue. I want a good squeeze out here. And along this edge over here, get a nice bead of caulk right there. And then my piece is ready to go again. I just do the same process again. This is for keeps this time, so run it up underneath the first board. Drop it down. That's looking good. Yep, pop that in there, good. That looks good. Underneath the window, I'm just going to use some finish nails. Pop that in there. Always be careful with the finish nail when you're doing this, because it kind of will curve around. Now, Hardie board, you secure the top, and so I'm going to come in about 1 inch or so on this, and over here, my second board's in the way. I want to hide my screws, and they're going to be underneath this second board. I'm just going to take a shim real carefully, just hold that out, and so that I can pre-drill my holes, and then following my marks up top here, so that everything's looking good, hitting studs and all that other good stuff. Nice and secure. Then I run these screws in. That little shim really helps, and so I can work with both hands, and it kind of is my little helper here. Just looking good, guys. And drop that down. And from here, see how that's loose now, but I can just pop some nails in that and just fill that up with caulk. Always, this is what I see you guys make a lot of mistakes here. Kind of wipe off that excess. You really don't want to fill in the grooves of the Hardie board. So even in here, I can fill these nail holes in and just take a damp cloth and wipe that down, and it fills in great, because you don't want to like change the texture or the look of the Hardie board. You can tell where it's repaired and where it's been fixed, or where you nailed it, or where a joint is, you know. So the whole idea behind this is to make it look seamless as possible. You know, a good carpenter can hide his mistakes. So that's one of the things you always want to keep in mind, that when you're looking at it, you know, if your eye picks it up, if you see it with your eye, hey, you got to fix that, man. You know, don't leave it out there. That makes your work look bad. See how much excess? You know, just don't smear that on and leave it. Just take it and wipe off that excess. I don't want a line there, because sometimes it does. You know, you don't mean to squeeze so much out, but you know, sometimes it just kind of rolls out the gun, and you don't really like, uh-oh. I just wipe that down. And on this cream color Hardie board, you know, if I use an almond color caulk, I mean, it almost dries perfectly. I mean, to where it matches. So, and guys, I mean, look, we're good to go. Awesome job. We did it. Just look at the finished product. You know, it's looking good. Make sure you do a good job around the outlets, cutting around the windows. Make sure you leave a little, the Hardie board recommends that an 1/8 inch gap between the joints. And so we just caulk those up real well. I always use, when you're caulking your work, I always use a real high quality caulk. Sherwin-Williams has a real good caulk that stretches it expands and contracts with the product, or with the Masonite or Hardie board. So make sure you always use a real good caulk.